guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this delicious Mississippi pot roast, and then I'm going to pair this with some cream cheese, mashed potatoes. They're going to be cheesy. Ooh. And I'm also going to use some vegetables on the side. The vegetables, the cream cheese, mashed potatoes, and the Mississippi pot roast. Let's jump right into it. Let's go. Okay, so let's just take a quick glimpse of all of the ingredients that you're going to need for this recipe. This is simple yet delicious. It's going to be so savory, so good, and so flavorful. We're going to make this in our crock pot. Okay, if you don't have a crock pot and you'd rather use an Instant Pot, go ahead. You could do an Instant Pot too. Now, these are the ingredients for our cream cheese mashed potatoes. Okay. And here are the vegetables, and vegetables do not have to be boring. I picked up some salt-free vegetable seasoning. I'm going to add a few other things to make it taste really good. Okay, so let's start with our meat. Beef is not really that dirty to me, so I'm just going to rinse it really good front and back, and then I like to squeeze out some of this extra water. Okay, so get yourself some paper towels, and you just want to pat it dry just like this. Get all of that water out. Now, let's season our meat. Okay, let's talk here. Now, listen. When you season your meat, you do not have to go overboard with the salt. Try to go light with the salt, okay? You can go a little bit heavier once you add your ground black pepper and your garlic powder. Okay, you can go a little bit heavier there, but with the salt, try to go a little lighter because we're using those seasoning packets which all have a level of salt. Okay, so most of your flavor is going to come from your au jus gravy and your ranch seasoning packet, and then we're going to add some of the juice from the pepperoncinis. Okay, so therefore you don't have to be too heavy on the salt. So just think about if you're the type of person that likes to put salt on your watermelon. I love to do it. So put about the same amount of salt that you put on your watermelon. But then again, just make sure you see the salt, but don't overdo it. Okay, some people probably like to go really light on the salt of a watermelon. I like to go a little heavier. I hope y'all get me. Okay, when you season your meat, season it all over, front, back, and the sides. Okay, now you're gonna add half of a white onion down into your crock pot or your Instant Pot. Sit the meat on top, let it rest on top of the onions. Now you're gonna sprinkle those gravy packets on top of the meat, just like this. Now this looks strange at this point here. We're gonna rub these seasonings in because I don't like how it's just sitting there just looking at me like that. I'm gonna add half of the juice from these pepperoncinis down in here. Okay, and now I'm just gonna rub the seasonings into the meat. I just didn't want to let it sit there like that. My husband said, you didn't have to do that part. Like, you could just drop it in the crock pot, but you know me, I just want to touch it just a little bit and rub the seasonings. Get some of that on the back of the meat or the bottom of the meat. So now I'm going to add the garlic, the butter, and then I'm a little extra, so I'm just going to stab my meat a little bit. Although this is just optional, so you don't have to stab your meat. Trust me, when you make your meat in the crock pot, it's going to break it all the way down, and all the flavors from the seasonings is going to get all into the meat. I'm using half the jar of pepperoncinis, overthinking it here. I said, let me put some of these on top of the meat. I just want to make sure that flavor gets into the meat. But again, crock pot recipes are wonderful. Like, you can start this at the top of the morning, go about your business, come back and check on it. Here we are at 3 hours later. I just have to just peek at it, mess with it a little bit, and then I have to taste it just a little bit. We still have a ways to go. Okay, this is only at 3 hours. I'm going to let this go for another 4 hours. Now, while that roast is just doing its thing, I'm going to start working on these here mashed potatoes. These mashed potatoes were by far the best mashed potatoes, and this paired very well with the Mississippi pot roast. So I'm just going to rough chop those potatoes. And now I've added some chicken broth. And to this, I'm going to add a tablespoon of a chicken bouillon powder and just mix it up, mix it up a little bit. I didn't feel like getting a spoon, so I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to mix it up. Okay. So you're going to boil this on your stove for 20 to 25 minutes or until the potatoes are tender. Okay, go in with your potato masher, mash, 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 smash, smash your potatoes. Now, when you add your cream cheese and your butter, you want to make sure that those ingredients are room temperature. Okay, you want to make sure you do this while your potatoes are still hot. Okay, you're going to season it with some garlic powder. I used about a tablespoon, and I'm just going to mix everything up. Okay, just mix it up, combine all of that together. I'm using 2 ounces of shredded mozzarella cheese, 2 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese. Now, this is cheese that I freshly grated because I don't buy store-bought grated cheese. It just doesn't melt that good to me. So I grated this off to the side somewhere, behind the scenes. Now, make sure your cheese is also room temperature. Make sure your milk is room temperature. I added about a 1/4 cup of whole milk, and I'm just mixing this up. I've folded in the cheese. Now I'm going to add salt, pepper, garlic powder to taste, and just whip it up. Y'all, these potatoes were oh my gosh, I just like. Now I'm going to top this off with some green onions and a little more cheddar cheese. That's done. Let's get to the vegetables. Now, vegetables do not have to be boring. You can season these, steam them, and make them taste really good. So I'm using a few carrots here. I'm going to season this with that salt-free vegetable seasoning. Then I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. I'm also going to add some salt. Okay, I'm going to sit this on top of a pot of hot boiling water. Okay, as you can see, I have this in my colander. I'm going to cover this with the lid and just let those carrots steam. So I've started with the carrots first because y'all know that carrots is going to take a little bit longer than broccoli. So once your carrots are nice and tender to how you like them, go ahead and drop in that broccoli. Make sure you season your broccoli as well, Let some of that seasoning hit that broccoli. Let it hit the broccoli. So I'm using the salt-free vegetable seasoning, Italian seasoning, salt, and then I'm going to cover it. Now, back to the Mississippi pot roast. This pot roast was by far the best pot roast I've ever had in my life. It was so good. So good. I let it go for 7 hours in the crock pot, and as you can see, or as you saw, that meat was nice and tender. I'm plating this up here. Okay, compliments to my husband because this is his pot roast recipe. He just let me borrow it. Okay, so this is his pot roast recipe. It was so good. This was the perfect dinner meal. We had this yesterday, and I'm about to go make me a plate right now because just watching this is just making me so hungry. I hope that you guys will try this recipe. Comment below. Let me know what you think, and I hope to catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.